Hello, and welcome to the Media Center's 9th Local Hero Awards series, in which we showcase 5 people from the Mid-Peninsula for outstanding achievement or contribution to the community. We solicited nominations and were especially looking for the unsung heroes. Each winner is an inspiration, and each has a great story to tell. Palo Alto has been the unfortunate victim of a contagion of teen suicides, more than once. Underlying most of these suicides is depression, often undiagnosed. An estimated 80% of those suffering from it do not receive help. There is one young volunteer and professional who is addressing the problem head-on, working directly with students, families, and healthcare professionals. She has educated over 1,500 teens about their own mental wellness. She has co-authored groundbreaking publications that are changing the way we approach the whole field of mental health. Maybe most importantly, she brings a deeply personal experience to the work she does.
I probably started experiencing depression clinically in middle school, and then throughout high school, and then throughout most of college. And until I got to college, I never really thought that it was something that could be treated or that deserved to be treated. I thought it was just a problem with me, and this was the way my life was going to be.
How did it manifest itself?
I felt terrible all the time. I was never happy. Like, I didn't smile, I didn't laugh, I stayed in my room. You literally can't get out of bed or leave your room for weeks at a time. It feels like you have, well, for me, it felt like having like a 50-pound bag of cement on me. So kind of the severe episodes of depression that I've had has been totally non-functional and losing a ton of weight, and it feels like you can't think because your brain is either working too slow or it's so distracted. You can sit and stare at a wall for hours at a time because it takes too much effort to move. And unfortunately, there tends to be a greater likelihood of it progressing and getting worse, and to that point, if you don't get help early. So
teens totally relate to her. They know that she knows what they're going through, and that she can help them figure out how to get through it.
So you got help, maybe not early, but you got help.
I eventually got help, and I never imagined that that could be something that I would experience. Not feeling that terrible or not feeling paralyzed by it for any stretch of time.
Wait, so you never imagined feeling good? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That seemed like totally inaccessible to me. That seemed so impossible. I felt that I would just, it was my lot in life to just kind of suffer through it, and I somehow deserved it. But that's all about how depression makes you feel.
These children and parents have not historically been educated about this aspect of their health. And that is the importance of what Sami is doing. She is educating and raising awareness and giving tools for how to approach and take care of these conditions. In fact, just knowing that there are conditions that are treatable is huge.
For me, these were major because we did not have a curriculum that really talked about signs and symptoms, coping skills, how to reach out for help and resources. And Sami really brought this all together for us.
Sami, how big a problem is depression and suicide? Is it just being diagnosed more, or is it a big problem?
No, it's a pretty significant problem. Amongst teens, it's estimated that just over 10% could be diagnosed with depression by the time they exit high school. But more realistically, kind of experiences with depression of some sort are almost up to a quarter of high school students by the time they graduate.
Why?
They're not entirely sure. I think a part of it is our culture is a bit more fast-paced. It's not as connected. We don't have as much downtime, and our stress levels are higher, and stress is very highly correlated with depression. I think it's not getting enough sleep, having kind of higher pressures in our lives at an earlier age, trying to manage doing much, much more, and instead of just being well-rounded, doing everything and being the best. That can provide a ton of stress and also a sense of social isolation.
You know, everything about her comes together as a package that's just amazing for this work, and she is so dedicated.
A lot of really high-functioning, very intelligent, very smart, successful people have mental health issues. It's just they work very hard to have it not affect their public persona. So unless you share that story, people are going to think that they're alone in their experience. So everybody's going to go along thinking, you know, I'm the only one who's sad, I'm the only one who's not really enjoying themselves here, I'm the only one who's feeling guilty for feeling this way, when in reality, it's not the case at all.
When Sami presented to both our youth and to students and to parents and teachers, I think one of the most important pieces was she helped to decrease the stigma, that it was okay to talk about this, it's okay to reach out for help, and that's critical.
I think there's a sense when, and we get this when we talk to the high schoolers, that they can't point to anything being wrong in their life. Like they look at their life and say, I go to a great school, I have friends, I have a family that isn't dysfunctional, I have all of this privilege, and how is it that I can be depressed? So they feel guilty over being depressed or being anxious or having something be wrong when they feel they have no reason to feel that way, and that kind of invalidates it for them. You can feel all the symptoms of depression, and it's just as valid a case of depression as somebody who can point to a ton of external things in their life and say, it makes sense that I'm depressed.
I think one of the important parts for me that Sami spoke about was she really relayed that mental health conditions are they're physical conditions, and that made it okay. You almost saw an aha moment for our kids, that they recognize that, okay, so this happens in the brain, just like when you have diabetes in the pancreas. So it made it okay for them to be able to talk about it.
So what are some guidelines for parents or people who might know somebody who might be suffering from depression?
I mean, I would say the first thing would be, don't be afraid to talk about it. So if you're a parent that's concerned, or if you're a peer that's concerned about your friend, I would say just ask them if you notice that something has been different. Giving permission to talk about it is really important because it's not assumed.
What is your wish for this area, for the people that you have served?
It's to remember that even if you can't see the effect that you're having, it doesn't mean that you should stop putting that effort out. Suicide prevention is something that always needs to have a sense of urgency. Mental health education and promotion is something that always needs to be there.
Do you know someone who has overcome significant hardship and has an inspiring story to tell? Someone who has sacrificed or given over and above to the community and deserves some recognition? If so, please contact us with your nomination for next year's Local Hero Awards. To find out more about our local heroes and to watch interviews with all the winners, visit our website, midpennmedia.org. At the Mid-Penn Media Center, you can make your own videos and television programs and take classes in all aspects of media production. You can also hire our professional services team. To find out more about that, go to mcproservices.com. Congratulations to all our winners, and thank you for watching.